Hello, everybody. I want to talk to you today about how to ignite your curiosity in Microsoft tools and why that's important in the modern workplace. So, as you know, after the pandemic, we are just distributed all over the world, working in out of our homes, out of our home offices. And how can you really use your best tools and use Microsoft to get ahead in that modern workplace, to get yourself seen, to either get a promotion at your own job or to just make yourself seen on that interview process. So I have Karnak installed here so you can see my actual keys as I hit them. So see that's going to show up right there. So notice the keys as I hit them, and that'll let you know how you can practice to do what I'm doing. So this is a training video and just a concept video inside of our Ignite Curiosity program. And Microsoft themselves have a competition in this called the MOS. So the MOS Championship program is Microsoft Office Specialists. And I might touch on some tools inside Windows 11 that you also have in Windows 10 and other versions. And you all can create a free account on office.com to get access to the tools I'm going to be using. So you're welcome to go to office.com like this and create a free account. And since I'm already logged in, you're going to see that back into that dashboard. So I would expect everybody to have access to this and already play around with the tools. But what we really want to see is that you become a very high-end specialist at this stuff. You know, you are that Microsoft Office specialist. And I'm going to go over a few pain points that I see a lot of people have. One pain point is people always use their mouse to get around instead of using their keyboard. So that's why I have this tool on here. So I can hit the Windows key and hit right, and it puts this over here. And then I could take my other web browser and have on the left just by clicking on it. If I want something third on my browser, I can hit the Windows key up and take that up top. And then maybe I want Microsoft Teams down here on the bottom. So that alone on one monitor, I can have everything right here. My Office on the right side, web browsing on the upper left, and then some Microsoft Teams down here on the bottom. So literally anything I do, you're going to be able to see here. So something else that I really like to see is if you are in Microsoft Teams, you know how to use all of the shortcuts to make really beautiful chats. We don't want to have chats like you're talking to your friend on Facebook. We want to see that you actually are using the right tools. So you could click down here and use a lot of these tools, but that's just not the best way to write things. We would rather you hit like the number 1 period and space and then press enter. So I hit tab there. You can see after the word you, I hit tab, and that got me out onto a whole new area. And then send that. So if you want numbers, that's going to help. We also have titles, so you can hold down, you can hit the pound key twice and hit space. And now this is a title. And I'm going to press shift enter, hold down shift and hit enter to get below that. This is my paragraph, and then press enter. And now I'm going to have the hyphen key, space, and that turns into this type of bullet. And then I press enter again to get out of there. And then press enter. So something you'll see when I did all of that, I'm going to then click in here and maybe I want to maximize that whole area. I press Windows key up, Windows key over, then Windows key up. It maximizes on my entire screen. So I really would like to see that people make posts like this that are very beautiful. And that command that I just taught, it works across many different chat platforms. So another place we want to go is just Microsoft Word. We really want to get away from using the mouse completely. We want to use the keyboard as much as possible. So practice getting away from that mouse and then hit your Windows key, type in Word, press enter, and that showed up on my second monitor. So I'm going to also hold down Windows key, tap left, left, up, up, and now I'm over here. And I never like to use blank documents, so I really like you guys to look through all the templates and spend quite a bit of time finding the right template for what you might want to design. And let's say that we want a business plan. So here's a healthcare business plan, professional services, home-based. Let's try this one out. And then we want to see that you're capable of going in there and saying, we don't want to get rid of the font that they used either. So I'm going to go back. Okay, it's all caps. So I'm going to say Revel Tech, all caps, professional services, business plan, table of contents. I don't really mess with what they have. I stay very true to how they do things. And then we'd also like in your MOS championship program you do with us, we want to see that you can type fast, that you can do all the numberings in here, and just show us, you know, the quick brown fox jumped over the nest and ate the chicken. So show us that you can type really fast. Show us that you can use your computer, not make that many mistakes, and then go into different sections and be able to make changes without needing to touch that mouse. All of these are different paragraphs, and they even let you know down at the bottom what your word count is, how many characters are actually in that entire area. So when you do change things, you can know only to change little sections there, not actually, like if I just change this, that changes the energy of that whole page. And we don't want to have this white space down here. So I'm going to undo that, Control Z, to make sure we get rid of the white space and have that right area. So by the end of, let's say, a week, we would have this whole thing put together, typing fast in here, and we can do research up on the internet. So I'm going to hold down Windows and hit left, tap that on the left. I'm going to bring up my browser here on the right. And when you work with your company, you want to be able to show that you can multitask in this fashion. Now, another thing that you could do on here is virtual desktops. Maybe you will also want to open up Excel, but you don't want to lose what you have here. So I'm going to hold down Windows and hit Tab, Windows Tab. Windows Tab brings up this area, and I only have one desktop. So I'm going to create a whole brand new desktop, and now that's called Desktop 2. And I can rename that to Excel, and I can name the first one Business Plan. Maybe we call this one Budget. Okay, so we have our business plan on desktop 1. We hit Windows Tab. We have that budget on the second one. Now what's really cool is you can hold down Windows Control left or Windows Control right. When you do that Windows Control, it just switches back and forth very quickly between each desktop that you have. Now that I'm on my second desktop, I'm going to hit the Windows key. I'm going to go into Excel. And then let's just make a blank workbook. And I want to see that you guys are capable of just formatting and making really beautiful spreadsheets over here. So the spreadsheet would have name, date, type, size, area. So you should be able to make this go pretty fast, add some styles in there. You know, I'm going to add some type of heading in here for this top area, and then add some column width to where it's 20. So all of these are wider. You can even go across all of those. And anybody that's a Microsoft Office specialist, you want to be able to go across all of the Office tools and just make pretty stuff no matter where you go. I want to make the row height 15 on all of those. And then you should be able to say be able to type fast, be able to go up and down, and the date we're going to equal today. No, it says it doesn't like that. And be able to use the different stuff inside of here. So I don't know what today is. Return as the current date, you click on that. There we go. Yeah. So you don't have to be an expert at this stuff, but you should be able to do simple Excel functions like this. And then let's give them 150, 20, 150, 120. And then be able to go through here and have conditional formatting on this. So go to conditional formatting, a color scale. It'll go up and down based upon what's the highest and the lowest. Maybe even take all of that and turn that into a table. So you can go in here and you can turn it into tables. So I take what I have highlighted, my table has headers, so it takes that top part, turns it into a header. And now all of a sudden we can change this and sort this whole thing. It popped up another page I want to show you guys, so I can just close that out. So now we have our table here. So very simply, we have a table now of that data that I put in there, and it's referencing things on sheet 1. So we have table 1, sheet 1, and I can click in here and sort things from largest to smallest. And so like if Joe, let me undo that. So see Joe here, he's at the bottom of 20. Jared's at the top with 120. I can now sort just by largest to smallest. So now Joe's on the bottom, Josh is on the top, Jared's right below him. Those are just very simple Excel commands that I want everybody to know how to do, no matter what kind of job you have. Know how to add more rows, and even go online, find different templates for that. And the nice thing about this multitasking is you now hold down the Windows key, Control, and hit left, and now we're back over and we can build things in our report here. We can do some cool stuff. Once we're done, we can get out this area and call this budget narrative. So maybe this whole area is the budget narrative, and we go back to our other desktop and we copy out our whole table here. We copy that, we go back, and right in there, I paste that, and I can resize it to the exact size I would need. I hold down Control Alt and I zoom out with my mouse, and that's a very easy way to zoom out of something. But I need to get down here in this corner to resize him so he actually fits inside of my spreadsheet. So now that is some dynamic information that you're going to need to know how to do. And that's what people would follow inside of some type of specialist. I'm going over the very, very basics. As you can see, you know, people in all types of countries do this stuff. They're represented all over the world. And to recap on what we did, we learned how to use some shortcuts with the Windows key to open up different desktops. We learned how to go into Teams. And when we're in Teams, we made some paragraphs. We also learned how to push things to the side with, you know, Windows left, Windows right. I'm going to go back in here and see. There we go. That thing was broken a little bit. Then we learned how to, make things left to right, keep our browser where we can multitask. And that's just a few of the small things that I want you guys to learn how to do in the modern workplace. In addition to this, I also would say really understand how to use your microphone, how to set up webcams, and play around with that webcam. Have some test calls with yourself. Go into Microsoft Teams, and inside that team, go into your settings, really learn how to have the right microphone volume, have the right lighting for looking at yourself, have the right background behind you. That's going to allow you to be very presentable in a modern workspace. And then use tools. You can go online to really improve your typing speed. You can just type in free typing online. You can even get games for that. Learn to touch typing for free at the typing club. Get started. And let's see, home sweet home, continue. All of these are free. There's tons of stuff you can do with it. You can also get typing games, so free typing game online. And it doesn't matter what skill level you're at, this is going to be helpful to you. Absolutely. So I'll play one of these and play. Yeah. So whatever skill level you're at, there's definitely something on there that you can do. And there's also the Microsoft Mechanic area. If you want to get way deeper into this, then I recommend that you go into Microsoft Mechanic. And the Mechanic is going to teach you the back end of how Microsoft works. So I'm holding out Control now. When I click on this, that brings it up in another tab. Hold down Control and click on this one. It brings it up in another tab. And then you can go to those tabs and you can watch the whole Microsoft Mechanic area to see all the possibilities inside Microsoft. You can go here, see what's going on here. You can also look at the Microsoft Office blog. So the latest news, updates, and insights. This is going to teach you all the ways that people are using Office to empower themselves, empower their companies. And Office is huge. It's not just the Word, Excel that you might have known in high school. It's really expanded quite a bit. So there's actually an Office app built in to Windows 11 now. And there's more tools in here like forms. PowerPoint has gotten a lot different than what you might have seen with it before, where you can actually hold presentations, hold live streams directly inside of PowerPoint. Outlook is a lot more than just doing your email. It now has task management inside of it. And then OneNote is a very big portion of what we use as well. So I recommend that you learn how this works, going in, starting your own notebooks, taking the same stuff that we did inside of Teams, where we have the paragraphs, we have the bullets, you have the titles, do all of that stuff inside of these other pieces of software as well. So if I'm here inside of Microsoft Word, I can still do the same stuff inside of here. I can hold down, if there's no formatting at all on where I am, so that gets rid of all the formatting. You can hold down just the asterisk key, press a space, it turns into a bullet. So if you want to be able to type really fast to people and give structured information, those small tools are going to help you a lot. So showing that to you again, it's when there's no formatting at all, you hit the asterisk key and spacebar. And now this is a bullet. And now this is another bullet. You hit enter a few times to get out of that. Same thing still works with that dash space. It turns into this style inside of Word. So be sure that you type with full grammar, great punctuation, have a capitalization at the beginning of your sentence, have a period at the end of a sentence. That doesn't necessarily apply to bullets, but absolutely all your sentence structure. We want to get away from how you might text friends and family. We want to get towards how you'd work in a professional setting. Even though this might just be a chat room over here inside of Teams, we treat it with full sentences. And we always use great punctuation, great grammar. So those tools will take you everywhere. You can use the same concepts whether you're in OneNote. Okay, and I have one more area I'm going to show you. So same thing here. I can press one dot space. It turns into a numbered list. So you want to see how to do that stuff, then you press enter twice to get out of there. Then we can bring it over to bullets. I know I'm driving this point home. That really helps you have a much more professional feel in how you communicate with people. Okay, going beyond this, there was one other area that I wanted to show you guys. And that is the relationship between SharePoint and OneDrive. So you might know how to use Google Drive, or you might know how to use Dropbox. But one thing that I see a lot with people is their lack of understanding of the relationship that Windows has with the online world, how to do cloud productivity. So cloud productivity, let's say that I'm in my organization and I'm in Microsoft Teams and I'm in, let's see, I'll go to my Teams. I will go to this guy here. It's just one of my teams. And you have files over here. Now, Microsoft Teams is okay for really easy stuff, but you don't actually want to do work here. You want to try to get away from this work as much as possible. You want to pull the work out of here over into your desktop. So that's where you're going to sync things. You're going to sync these files. So you simply hit the sync button because all these files sit inside of SharePoint. So you can access files literally 3 different ways. One way is by going here in Teams and getting it. The second way is still going to Teams and going to Files, but hitting your drop-down button and saying Open in SharePoint, which we will do. So let's say that I want this accounting notebook, workbook, then I can click it right here, but that's not going to be the best experience. If you don't have the setup that I have, that's actually going to open it for you right inside of Teams. And I don't want you to have it open here. I want you to open on your desktop, or I want you to open it in the best way possible. So you can hit that 3 button, go to open in SharePoint. This is another way to see the exact same file, but now it's full screen. Now you have a lot more tools. You can hit that drop down to see the version history of it, details of it. You just get so much more in SharePoint, but I still don't really like SharePoint. I'd prefer that you click away and have nothing clicked on, and then you hit the sync button. When you hit that sync button, it is going to ask you to add it to OneDrive. So SharePoint is online, OneDrive is actually local on your computer. And I don't want to get just spaces, we want all the documents. So what happens on my computer is, let's look at that. We're in Hospitality Hive, which is a group. And if I look in my computer, I have Hospitality Hive right here, okay? So to get that synced, to get it to show up on your computer like that, you have to hit that sync button. And just like that, it will use OneDrive down in the corner here. It will use that OneDrive to sync it directly into your computer. So I'm in Focus Hive, I have everything that I have synced, and there's Hospitality Hive, and Spaces is where we were. So let's go back with Alt-Tab to show that to you. So we're in Documents, Spaces, Accounting Workbook. So Hospitality Hive Documents, here's Spaces, and you'll see the exact same structure there. But now you're in Windows, you're just on your own computer, you don't have to worry about your internet connection, and you're in a space that you should understand a lot better. So now when you double click here, it's going to open that directly in your Excel there. Now the interesting thing is, you guys might not have noticed this, but this is actually, anytime I open Excel now, it's forcing me over to my virtual desktop that is based on Excel. Because remember, when we hold down Windows D, sorry, not Windows D, we hold down Windows Tab. When we hit Windows Tab, it puts us in that budget desktop anytime I open Excel from now on. That's just a really cool multitasking way to separate things out. Windows is intelligent and it knows that you want to keep all of your Excel stuff over on that one desktop. So even though I opened it over here, it actually, look at all the icons I have, all the stuff I have open. As soon as I open that up, it converts me over to the other virtual desktop. And now I'm over here with only one very focused area. And if I minimize that, I get back to a very clean desktop with nothing open. The only way to get back to my other desktop with my other software is I have to hold down Control, Window, and then left, Control plus Windows plus left. And I'm going to go back by hitting right. So I can go left, right, left, right. Those are different desktops. Or if I don't really know the structure, I hit Windows Tab, and you can see I'm on the budget one now. And if I want to go left, that's why I hit that Control Windows left. Or you just have Windows Tab and click over there. So that's all I have to cover today. I'd like to see that you guys become Microsoft Office specialists, that you really increase your typing speed, you learn how to structure your wording and also use templates, use the virtual desktop feature, use the ability to move your windows left and right, and just start using the power tools that are built into Windows. You can take that one step further by actually downloading Microsoft Power Tools. The Power Tools is kind of like a Power Toys. They're kind of a beta version of some ways that you can actually enhance even further. If you already know what I'm talking about, or if you master this, then absolutely go look at the Power Toys and enhance your desktop experience even further with what you see here. All right, thank you.